Welcome everyone to the third grand final show of the Piano Star International Competition. My name is Sherry Kim and I am the artistic director. Today we have a special guest host. I'm going to read a little bit about her bio before I introduce her. She is the recent prize winner and laureate of competitions such as the International Chopin Competition on Period Instruments in Warsaw and American Piano Awards. Dr. Angie Zhang is a concert pianist, passionate educator, and specialist in forte piano. Her recent two-disc CD release includes all Chopin on 3 period instruments from Chopin's time, and she is the artistic director and co-founder of Modern Plus, the world's first joint modern and historical piano festival and experience. Welcome, Angie.
Thank you so much for having me, Sherry. It's so wonderful to be here tonight to celebrate the incredible talent and hard work of our contestants. The grand finals have been an inspiring journey so far, and I'm excited to see what Group D has in store for us.
Yes, awesome. So before we get started, like I've done in the previous shows, I will be going over the grand final rules for everyone. So Alfredo, if you can put it, yep, there you go. So just to talk a little bit about the videos that were submitted for the grand finals, all competitors actually had to submit a verification word. I know this page says verification document. That was what we did in the previous year. We forgot to update that. But it's a verification word that they set at the beginning of their video so that we can make sure that this video was indeed recorded after the final round, which was last month. And any performances that you'll be hearing today have been trimmed if they exceed the maximum time limit, even after giving the 30-second grace period. So for the judging process, it's pretty simple. Our judges here today will be ranking the top 6 grand finalists. All the rankings are assigned without any ties. So there will be 1 first place, 1 second place, and 1 third place, so on and so forth. And judges will not be assigning any numerical scores, unlike we did in previous rounds. So for these place, we have they're going to be converted into points. And as you can see on this chart, a first place will receive 10 points, a second place will receive 9 points, and so on and so forth. Any contestants that are ranked below the 6th place will receive 4 points. So contestants are going to be ranked based on their total points from all 3 judges. So for example, if someone receives 3 first place votes, that would be a score of 30 points. Now, in the case of a tie, which has happened in the past, a two-way tie would mean that a contestant that's ranked higher by 2 of the 3 judges will be the tiebreaker. Now, in the very rare scenario, we have a 3-way tie. So what that really means is that each judge prefers a different contestant. Then it's actually up to the competition directors to decide via their executive votes. And lastly, as we always, we always do at Piano Star, we focus a lot on transparency. So all judges' rankings will be made public after this competition, just like we've done in previous rounds. All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Sherry. And I'd like to remind everyone that the results will be announced tonight during the results announcement, which will follow Group E performances. Now, let's introduce our 3 esteemed judges. They are joining us live and will be sharing their comments in real time throughout the show.
All right. So I have the pleasure of introducing our first judge, Mr. Blocker. Robert Blocker is the William Edward Gilbert Professor of Piano at Yale School of Music. From 1995 to 2023, he served as the Henry and Lucy Moses Dean of Music and also as the Affiliate Professor of Leadership Strategies at Yale University School of Management. An internationally acclaimed concert pianist, Mr. Blocker performs throughout the world, appearing in recitals and in chamber music and orchestral settings. He appears regularly on national radio and television programs as an artist and commentator, and is also active as a consultant to major educational institutions and government agencies worldwide. Mr. Blocker is also a member of Connecticut Public Broadcasting's Board of Trustees and has been a member of the New Haven Symphony Orchestra's Board of Directors since 1995. Thank you for being here, Mr. Blocker.
Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure and a thrill to be here and hear these talented students today.
Thank you.
All right, so our second judge tonight is David Fung. Mr. Fung is on the piano faculty at the Manhattan School of Music and at University of British Columbia. He curates the Stereo Piano Series at the Chan Center in Vancouver. With a repertoire of over 60 concertos, Mr. Fung regularly performs as a soloist with the world's premier ensembles, including the Cleveland Orchestra, the Detroit Symphony, the Israel Philharmonic, the LA Philharmonic, and the San Francisco Symphony. Recent performances include Mr. Fung's Los Angeles Philharmonic debut, performing Saint-Saëns Carnival of the Animals with Yuja Wang and Gustavo Dudamel. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Fung.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here, and I look forward to hearing all the wonderful young pianists today.
Great, thank you. And finally, we are bringing back Olga Kern, who was also our judge from the past 2 shows. Ms. Kern is on the piano faculty at the Manhattan School of Music and is the founder and artistic director of the Olga Kern International Piano Competition. In 2001, she was the gold medalist at the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition, the only woman in the last 50 years to do so. She continues to regularly perform with prominent orchestras across the United States and other countries. In the 2023 and 24 season, she performed Rachmaninoff's 4 piano concertos and Rhapsody on a theme of Paganini with the Austin Symphony and with the Virginia Symphony Orchestra, appeared with the Czech Philharmonic on a nationwide telecast, and toured South Africa and Asia. Thanks for being back, Ms. Kern.
Thank you so much. I was really happy to hear wonderful talents yesterday, and I'm looking forward to hear more talents today.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, it's time to begin our Group D performances. These participants are 13 to 15 years old. And just as a disclaimer, we will only be listening to 11 of the 12 contestants today, as one of our contestants were not able to meet all of the competition's rules. Our first contestant is Joseph Guo, performing Chopin's Ballade No. 2 in F major, Opus 38.
Thank you, Joseph, for your performance. We're now going to be inviting Mr. Blocker for some comments.
Joseph, thank you very much. You had some beautiful moments in your performance, and I wanted to make some suggestions for you to consider where you might make these moments even more beautiful and talk about a couple of other places in this wonderful ballade as well. If you go back and you look at the score very, very carefully, you will note, of course, the tempo marking that Chopin inscribes for the opening section, which repeats itself throughout the piece. This wonderful andante, it's singing, and you want it to sing. Your use of rubato is very lovely in spots, but one of the things I would say you might want to really consider is making certain that the rubato does not slow down your tempo too much, and so that you can come back into it and do exactly what you were doing right at the beginning of the piece when you said that. But the way you outline and voice the chords at the beginning and with your feel of the tempo, it's very, very lovely. It really is. Now, going to the allegro part, I think one of the things that happens there is it gets maybe over pedaled in a few parts. Strive for clarity. Look again at the markings, particularly at the range of dynamics. You're doing it and you want to accentuate that and make it even more effective by clarifying just a couple of the passages a little bit. And one thing to think about in particular is later in the ballade, especially when you have the beautiful chromatic and harmonic sections, decide where you want to give some emphasis, where you want to pull back. You want to make a statement. You want to just let the chords sit for a moment and make this beautiful effect. In other words, you don't have to rush through those moments. You can take some time. And silence is part of the music also. A final word about the coda. Don't try to play the coda so fast that you can't control it. It's much more effective to take a tempo that you're going to be able to accentuate your virtuosity, but also your musicianship and your musicality with it. I think the last statement particularly was beautiful. I wanted to tell you about that as you end the piece. And you don't want to end it just too slowly, but take your time. Let us breathe with you there at the end. It's a very lovely performance and all good wishes to you for much success in your piano studies. Thank you, Joseph.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Blocker. Next up, we have Tamana Arvind playing The Lark by Glinka and Valkyria.
Thank you, Tamana. Mr. Fung, your comments on Tamana's performance, please.
Hi, Tamana. It's a very beautiful and poetic performance. I enjoyed very much your great affection for the music and the text. I imagined that you could picture and visualize the lock very clearly in your mind in your wonderful interpretation. I know these things sometimes don't always translate very well in recordings, but I wished for a clearer sense of balance between the lines you have to deliver throughout this work. It comes in various stages. First with just a lonely voice in the beginning, and then of course we get a simple accompaniment, and then we have several layers of filigree which bring to life the lock's love and longing. And in all of those stanzas, I felt perhaps there could be even more attention to the balance between the main vocal material as well as the counter melody and the way in which you weave together some of the 30-second notes, for instance, and how you shape those while still being underneath the melody that you're playing among both hands. In general, I felt the expression was very beautiful. I felt there was a very nice sense of breathing, though I wished for more. And I think the rubato can be achieved by listening more carefully to the distances between the sung notes. I like to almost imagine a line, a column connecting your intervals so that we really hear the intonation, the space between the notes. Let that guide you with perhaps how much time you take so that you can achieve perhaps a more convincing cantabile. It was very beautiful and I enjoyed your playing very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fung. And now our third contestant is Papicha Vejman-Kokorn, performing two pieces. Rameau's La Poule from Suite in G major, RCT 612, and the first movement of Mozart's Piano Sonata in D major, Koschel 311.
Thank you, Papicha, for your performance. Now we're going to invite Miss Kern for some comments.
Papicha, wonderful, bravo. I really enjoyed your performance. Wonderful articulation, very good fingers. Really, you're listening to every note. Everything is really wonderfully articulated. I felt if you're going from Mozart back to Rameau, I felt a little bit that in Mozart, he's writing a lot of poses in the left hand and in the right hand in the first movement of the sonata. I felt like you could breathe a little bit more. I think that, that air, that again, the little silence is in the music like this is so fragile. Just listen to it more. It will bring these incredible, delicious sounds there even more. And then sometimes I felt when you do the accompaniment in the left hand, you're a little bit rushing. I know the excitement of performance, but still just hold yourself a little bit. Yes, don't rush here. Every note is a treasure, even the accompaniment, everything. So because of that, you somehow didn't keep the tempo which you took from the beginning, which is a lovely tempo, but just so it can be more even. Yeah, just be careful with this. Also, ending of the phrases, when you have the first part ending in the chords in A, that, you suddenly hesitated in the last chord and you went somehow diminuendo. But if you repeat 4 chords together, what is the end of the whole part? It's the last chord. So don't hesitate. Go into it. Ta 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 ta. Not ta 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 ta. Both times it happens. I think it will be better if you finish like that. So the contrast for the next second theme will be even better. You play the second theme beautifully, really, really lyrical and really melodic. So just keep that in mind. So the contrast is even more visible. In Rameau, I felt that repetition notes sometimes was rushing a little bit, especially in the left hand. Also, be careful with the pedal in Rameau. I think you can do all that, especially when you played the broken chords. You took a lot of pedal. I saw that if you will do everything, the same thing, but more with the fingers, more legato with your fingers, this will be much better and more in style, because you really have, as I said, wonderful articulation, and stylistically was very good. Maybe sometimes a little bit too harsh. Rameau, remember, the instrument that time was a different that we are playing now. So just make sure that it sounds not that harsh and the forte is not that strong. Other than that, I thought this was a really wonderful and very well thought full performance. Thank you so much. Bravo.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kern. All right, we're going to be moving on to our 4th contestant. His name is Alex Fung, who is performing the first and second intermezzo from Brahms's Opus 118.
All right, thank you, Alex. Mr. Blocker, we are bringing you back.
Thank you, and thank you, Alex. You play these Brahms intermezzi with great affection, like all pianists who know and love these pieces. And you are going to find that they grow with you and they change with your life as you evolve as a wonderful young artist and musician and person. I think in the first intermezzo, particularly, you want to make certain that you have a clear understanding of the pedaling that you need. There's some distortion a little bit in the first part of the recording that I heard, so it was a little bit difficult for me to catch exactly where you were going, and it cleared up in the second one. But the pedaling is really important, and I think that the the thing that I wanted to say about that is the voicing is very clear in your intent for that. At the end of that, particularly as you go to the A major, and I want to spend a little more time in the A major, talking about the A major intermezzi, you want to think of this wonderful motive that you hear over and over, dee da dee da da, as this beautiful sung line where you're letting that melody sing itself. I like what you were doing with the inner voices. In the piece, when you get to the chorale, where you're beginning to play those beautiful chords together, you really take a huge retard, a huge change in the tempo. You might want to consider how it would be to make that transition a little more smooth. I think that would be something you'd want to look at. Also, as you revealed um, the piece as it's coming in to the B, the ABA to the final A section in that particular intermezzo, I wanted to hear more of a climax of the phrases where they were really opening up at the end, just before the coda, where you go to the pianissimo and you go there so beautifully. I think, too, the only other comment for your consideration is in the long lines, you want to take special care that your artistry and your lyricism and the warmth of your tone doesn't get interrupted by more emphasis on a note that's not in a primary beat of the phrase. So take a good look at that. But it's a lovely playing, and you've made a wonderful start on two great pieces that will travel with you on your artistic journey for the rest of your life. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you so much for your comments, Mr. Blocker. Next up is our fifth contestant, Olivia Hua, performing the first movement of Beethoven's Piano Sonata in E minor, Opus 90.
Thank you, Olivia, for your performance. Now we're going to invite Mr. Fung for some comments.
Olivia, wonderful. I felt I really understood the emotional world of this movement. On the one hand, it's not completely serious. There's an element of levity in this movement, despite its very serious tone on the surface. And I think you managed to capture some of that drama, as well as some of the more mercurial and lyrical aspects also very admirably. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you. I felt there were times that a more symphonic treatment of this movement would be more successful. Sometimes I feel music of Beethoven plays itself, and we don't always need to over manufacture the tempi as well as the transitions. He's a very deeply thoughtful composer when it comes to structure. And sometimes when you took time, especially in the transitional sections, I lost a little bit of the intent of the narrative. For instance, there is a very beautiful transition going into the development. You have the top B minor chords. Then you change the tempo after these three bells of the B, and then the B start to continue in eighth notes. And the pulses just seemed a little bit too different for us to feel a sense of magical transition between these two larger sections. And I would say a little bit the same with the cap, with this three-note descending line, and it diminutes. And if it rushes too much, then we actually lose the sense of that automatic diminution that actually brings us back into the recap. So maybe having more of a judicious sense of what that median tempo is between the section, trying to really maintain those so that we have a very, very nice transition that doesn't fluctuate too much in tempi. In general, I really thought that you managed the plunging broken chord section in the left hand very well. That's a very difficult section to play. However, I also felt that because your attention was on your left, that the right hand wasn't always given the same attention in terms of the rests, in terms of those smaller phrases. Sometimes seemed a little bit over-pedaled or overheld. But, you know, I think all of these things will come together with just a little bit more attention on that steady tempo throughout. I loved very much the espressivo and the dramatic and musical aspects of your playing. Thank you so much, Olivia.
Thank you, Mr. Fung. All right, we're moving on to our sixth contestant. Her name is Amelia Catherine Bauernschmidt, performing Chopin's Nocturne in C minor, opus 48, number 1.
Thank you, Amelia. And now, Ms. Kern, we'd love to hear your comments.
Yes, with pleasure. Thank you, Amelia. Wonderful performance. It's a not easy nocturne to play because it is so famous and we have such a great interpretations, recording of it. And it is very personal also. I think you feel it more like really dramatic. And I think sometimes because of that, singing part as a little bit disappearing, especially in the last part. Yes, it is. It is very painful, but he's writing to piano. Yeah, it's the part where you have with the melody a lot of chords inside, which is making music, of course, more dramatic, but at the same time, it is not really dramatic. It's more painful. It's more flying than earthy feel. Yeah, we are not here on earth. We need to go somewhere, fly. That's why he's writing to piano. It was a little bit too heavy, all the ta 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 ta, and then the melody, because you have that accompaniment together with the melody, sometimes is a little bit too strong. I felt like, even though the beginning was beautiful, But then this ending is always very tricky to make it singing, really, because for Chopin, voices was everything. So we need to sing all the time. And sometimes I felt that was a little bit too direct sound, yes, in the melody. And I think if you will just go a little bit down with the sound here in the end of the whole part, I think it will help you, because you have that understanding, and you want to do it, you are going there, but because you're not flying, you're really making it too dramatic and too down to earth. And this is what I think is not there yet, that feel that of emotion, which is so in the way it is so soft, but as I said, it needs to go somewhere in a different world. So to piano, not mezzo forte you started, I felt, and then it was really fortissima. So be careful with that. Yes, all the octaves part I thought was very good. In the beginning, wonderful singing, wonderful melody. Sometimes because the chords in the left hand is written in the way that it can drag you a little bit to stand on the same place. So be careful, make a line the same way as you are as a singer. You go, yes, when our voice, when we are singing, we can stop when we make that big phrase. So go visit more. Yeah, never stand on the same place. That's what I just a little comments like this, but I thought it was a really wonderful, and then the ending was beautiful, and very beautiful legato right in the end, and that sound of that pianissima in the end. This is how you should start that last part after all this dramatic octaves and everything, this two piano. Don't forget about it, okay? I'm repeating and repeating about it because I think you can really do it wonderfully, that place. Yes, so otherwise it was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Kern. Our seventh contestant is April Ely Jung, performing the first movement of Beethoven's Piano Sonata in E flat major, opus 81A.
Thank you, April, for your performance. Mr. Blocker, can you give us some comments?
April, thank you so much for your wonderful performance of the first movement of Les Deux. This is such a great sonata of Beethoven's. And right at the beginning, he inscribes Les Bévols, Les Bévols. It's over this motif that's going to come back throughout this movement. I think the expressiveness that you want to give to that, and you've already made a wonderful start, but to even enliven that more so that that text and the pathos that it reveals about leaving becomes known to the listener. You've made such a wonderful start on that, but I encourage you to take a look at that and to consider how often that motif reappears in different forms that Beethoven uses in his craftsmanship throughout the movement. I know you know, and we all appreciate and value the fact that Beethoven was meticulous in his markings and in his writings. The use of sforzandos, and hairpins with the range of dynamics. I think you know this piece well enough now, and it's in your fingers, so that what often benefits us most is we go back and look at the score very carefully and consider where we might want to give a little more attention to those kinds of details. One of the things particularly I would encourage you to look for are the slurs, the down-up slurs, and the articulation of that. It adds to that motivic development when you have that reappearing as it comes back throughout the first movement of the piece. I appreciated the fact that you did not try to play it faster than you could manage the tempo. I think that too is important. One of the things, though, is to make certain that you keep the tempo. Sometimes with the rests and the way that they're written and what you're trying to express as you understand Beethoven's score and what he was giving us to recreate for him, you want to make certain that you are taking care to keep your expressive playing in tempo and certainly to align it with Beethoven's intentions that he's marking in the score. So in general, it's a wonderful performance, a great beginning on a piece that you're going to be enjoying and thrilling audiences with for many years. And now you have a chance even to enliven that piece even more. And I know that you'll enjoy working on it. It's one of, I think, Beethoven's great masterworks. Thank you so much for your lovely performance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Blocker. Our next contestant is Joseph J. Yoon, performing Schumann's Abegg Variations, Opus 1.
Thank you, Joseph. Mr. Fung, we'd love to hear your comments.
Thank you, Sherry. Joseph, it was a wonderful performance. You know, this piece is really a complete piece. I think with the variation forms, we end up with a lot of different variety. And I think you have some very bravura playing displayed here, and I wanted to commend you on that. There's a lot of clarity and also a lot of charm that I think is attached to this mythical, perhaps real or not real, Madame Beg. We're not so sure, but we end up hearing a lot of character in this work by virtue of Schumann's interest in the literary world and in his exploration of all the different kinds of characters through this, you know, very simple A, B, E, G, G theme. We hear a lot of variety, and I think you really displayed that clear literary interest and narrative depth. One of the things that I wished more for was probably softer playing. It's again very difficult to hear through a recording, but I felt there were times that you managed it more successfully in the slower tempi, but in some of the more fleet variations, I noted that there was perhaps more dynamic than what Schumann marked. Note that in, for instance, the first variation, there are parts which he marks pianissimo, if I remember correctly. And I don't always hear that level of shape that he builds in to his writing. However, the sparkling variation 3, I think you did manage some more dynamic range. The piece culminates with this finale alla fantasia. And I think this was very, very beautiful. However, you know, at the extremities of the keyboard, we end up with this very beautiful register pianissimo that never felt like it was leading us from the sky. It seemed always a little bit too real, and I think that those kinds of more beautiful tonal explorations can happen a little bit more. I thought, in general, there was a lot of display of technical ability, but I wanted to caution you using technique for the sake of bravura and technique's sake, that it's always used to further the musical shape or musical intention. Sometimes, for instance, I wasn't completely aware of the listening to the harmonic hierarchy. For instance, the piece begins with a dominant chord. So should be a little bit more than just a little bit more of a tonic. Then you have a predominant and then a dominant and then a resolution. But the shapings were very much the same and didn't seem to value the pull towards the predominant and dominant and the subsequent resolution. And that happens throughout. So if there's some awareness, greater awareness of that harmonic hierarchy, I think you reach even the next level of your wonderful morning. Notwithstanding, just terrific. I enjoyed it so very much. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fung. Our 9th contestant is Emily Fung, performing 2 pieces. The 3rd movement of Beethoven Sonata number 18 in E-flat major, opus 31, number 3, and then followed by J.S. Bach's Prelude in F-sharp minor from Well-Tempered Clavier Book 2, BWV 883. right. Thank you very, very much. Miss Kern, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Emily, wonderful playing. Thank you very much. I think that your Beethoven was really, you feel this music, and it's such a wonderful sonata, early Beethoven, and I think it suits you very much. And I liked particularly the trio, how you changed the colors when you were repeating the parts. I saw that you really had an idea of what you want, which was wonderful. Be careful when you were going back after the trio to the first part. You kind of slow down the tempo a little bit because of your left hand accompaniment. Try to be in the same mood. It's a wonderful movement. Just keep going. Yes. And also, when you are doing that different contrasts in the trio, yes, it's a very orchestral, and a lot of Beethoven piano music. We feel that it's orchestration. It's not just a piano playing; it's just a full orchestra. Because you have this wonderful idea of doing such a different sounds and dynamics, make it even more, exaggerate. Don't worry about doing this because, if you look at the piano in Beethoven's music as an orchestra, you need to bring out different instruments. If you do that octaves, palm, 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 that sforzandos, make it fuller sound, not necessarily, I don't want you to do a bigger sound, just direct. No, it can be a fuller sforzandos, bigger but fuller sound. Yes, that's the difference. Meaty, wonderful, warm sforzandos. So you can definitely do this more because one register the sforzando, and then another register without the sforzando. This is a big difference in sound. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, there are staccatos, little dots in that sforzandos, but don't do it too short. That's why I feel like, you can do a little bit warmer sound, because if you are too short and too dry, the sound will stay in the piano, and it will not transform farther as an orchestra sound. Yes, so continue this sound. If you will do a little bit more of a body weight into that sforzando octave, that palm, 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 it will really transport the sound even more into the audience. Yes, so just these little things, I felt that you can do even more in Beethoven. In Bach, I felt in the left hand, those staccatos were a little bit too obvious, and I think in the context of that specific prelude, I don't think you need to do that big staccato, because then it kind of separates from the right hand, from the melody. It felt a little bit distant, a little foreign. Yeah. So be careful. Just from the beginning, you need to connect the left hand with the right hand. Other than that, I felt it was very musical. You listen to every note, and it was a wonderful line there. But just some of that, indications of that sudden staccato. Maybe you can do a little bit more articulation in the fugue, but not here, not in this prelude, in this specific prelude. So thank you very much. I thought it was a really well played. Good luck with your future performances. Thank you.
Thank you so, so much, Miss Kern. Now, our 10th contestant is Izel Iluni Gomez Calderon, also playing two pieces. The first movement of Kabalevsky's Sonata for Piano, number 3, opus 46, and the third movement of Haydn's Sonata number 38 in F major, Hoboken 1623.
Thank you, Isel, for your performance. Now we're bringing up Mr. Blocker.
Giselle, thank you for that wonderful performance. Some very impressive moments, a wonderful, pristine technique. And I wanted to talk about some similarities and some of the things that you do in both the Haydn and the Kapellevsky. I think that one of the things musically that you capture is the dialogue between voices, particularly when they're displaced in different octaves. It's wonderfully done. I think it can be even better by maybe varying it somewhat. You used similar articulations, similar dynamics, but you can make more of those dialogues in both of the pieces. They're really, really wonderful. The other thing I wanted to speak to was tempo, particularly when you have so many fast notes, and you obviously have the fingers to play them very fast, but sometimes they can lack clarity and direction. And you want to make certain that as you're playing the passaggi, that you keep that clarity and that intensity both one and the same as you're moving along in the piece. And finally, a word about the lyrical sections. You have a wonderful singing, lyrical, warm sound. And you want to breathe with that. When it comes, just engage us, pull us into the music, and share that part of the music with us. It's very lovely playing, well thought out. It is a kind of playing where the technique is so wonderfully secure that I think you can take the time to think what you want to say about both pieces, musically and how they're shaped with the craftsmanship of two really great composers. So congratulations, and I wish you much success in your future performances. Thank you for a lovely performance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Blocker. All right, now we are going to welcome our 11th and final contestant in Group D. Her name is Belinda Zhu, playing Chopin's Rondo a la Mazur, Opus 5.
Thank you, Belinda. And now, Mr. Fung, we're bringing you back one more time for comments.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Belinda, it was such a joy to hear your performance. I really felt you captured so much of the feeling of the charm of this national dance very early mazurka. And I loved the feeling of the theme, which really gives us this beautiful lilt on the second beat. And you manage that with such maturity. I think this is such a difficult feeling to capture. It's really something that requires a lot of listening, a lot of experience, and I really felt that this was convincing for me. Unfortunately, I felt that some other places, for instance, the alternating sections, the A's were always, performed with great refinement and aplomb, but the alternating sections, the tranquillo sections, weren't always as convincing rhythmically with regards to this mazurka rhythm. And lilting passages, sometimes I lost the pulse, so just please be careful and revisit that rhythmic element, that there's still a sense of the mazurka in that left-hand figure, but also that when you make the roll on the downbeat, that we hear perhaps the thumb as the thing of the downbeat rather than the fifth finger, which sometimes distorts the overall rhythmic pulse in that section. And I think that's probably, the two things that takes away, that detracts ever so slightly from that mazurka feeling that you capture so well in the A sections. There's so much coloristic playing. The dynamic color, the way you balance your voices and your shaping, that I really felt that it was a joy to listen to from start to finish. As we approach the ending of the piece, well, I know we didn't quite get to the end, but it's sort of the later section, there are the appearance in the left hand of those legato octaves. I suspect that your hand is probably not quite large enough to play them with fingered octaves, with fours and fives. And I couldn't quite see on the screen, given how small it was, what fingerings you were using. Assuming that you can't reach those octaves with a legato fingering with the fours and the fives, I might suggest that you stay a little closer to the key. And I see that distance with every single key strike of those octaves doesn't allow for a very pleasing, was the one thing that perhaps stood out as being having less finesse as the remainder of your performance. Having that, being a little closer to the key and having a little bit more shaping in those lines can very well hide the lack of legato fingerings at this stage in your development and physical development as well. Notwithstanding, again, just full, charming, and very enjoyable playing, filled with the spirit of Chopin. It's a very, very beautiful treat for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments, Mr. Fung. And also just a huge thank you to all three judges. Amazing to hear your comments. Thank you so much for your time. And that wraps up all the performers in Group D. A huge congratulations to everyone on their beautiful performances.
Awesome. Yes. Jonas, thank you. Thank you again so much for everything. At this time, you are more than welcome to sign off and finalize your rankings. And then I can't wait to have you guys back at 7 p.m. for our grand final show. All right. So that brings us to one of my favorite parts of the grand finals, and that is the spotlight videos. So what are they? The spotlight videos, each of the competitors also submitted a separate video aside from their performances today, showcasing their interests and hobbies and even their pets, just completely unrelated to the piano. And I love it so much because it just captures a glimpse of their life outside of music. And so, yeah, hopefully you can enjoy watching all of these. I'm excited to be watching it myself. So here we go.
Hello, my name is Alex Huang. I am 14 years old. Hello, my name is Alex Huang. I am 14 years old. I live in Ohio and I am a freshman in high school. Outside of piano, in my free time, I enjoy bird watching and bird photography. This is my camera. It is a Canon EOS R50, and this is the lens that I use. It's 100 to 400 millimeters. It's a pretty good magnification, and I can see birds very clearly with it. Besides birds, I also have a very strong interest in linguistics, specifically computational linguistics. I'm in linguistics club at my school, and I plan to attend the North American Computational Linguistics Open. It's kind of like solving logic puzzles, but instead of the basic, like this guy wears a hat, instead you find patterns in syntax and other languages from around the world, usually ones that most people don't even speak. Thanks for watching my spotlight video.
Hello, my name is April Zhang. I'm a freshman in high school and I live in Southern California. Outside of piano, I really enjoy playing the flute. I started in elementary school for my school band, and since then I played in various different bands and orchestras. I really love it because it's allowed me to meet many different people and play lots of pieces. One thing I like outside of music is reading. I love reading books of all kinds from many different genres, but my favorite genre has to be fantasy because it's fun and interesting, and it kind of helps me escape my otherwise pretty boring life. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Piano Star League.
Hi, I'm Belinda Zhu, and I've participated in the Piano Star Grand Final 4 times. In 2025, I've really been interested in using AI to create interesting short videos. Now, I'll show you a video that shows some of my hobbies and dreams.
I'm Belinda, I'm 12 years old, and this is where I grew up, Columbus, Ohio. I like the way the river glows when the sun goes down and how the— Alright, noodle time. It smells so good. Look at that steam. So warm and savory. This really hits the spot. Thinking about this for weeks, and today I made the call. I'm starting an AI company. It's called Lumina AI, and it's all about building technology that actually listens to people. First model's trained. Time to launch. 3, 2, 1.
The first prize of the 2029 International Chopin Competition is awarded to ZJ.
My name is Tamana Arvin, and I'm an 8th grader in Bethel Middle School. In addition to playing the piano, I also play the violin and the flute. I've been playing violin for 7 years and the flute for 3. Some of my hobbies include skiing, volleyball, and reading. I also love to bake, and I love baking Christmas cookies throughout the winter. I'm an only child, but I have a dog named Coco. He's a golden retriever. This summer, I visited Czech Republic, Austria, and Switzerland. During my time there, I attended a piano festival in Czech Republic, and then I went to Austria and Switzerland for vacation. In Austria, I saw Mozart's house, and I walked around the streets of Salzburg. And in Switzerland, I visited different towns in the mountains, and even went to the top of Europe. I love traveling to new places every year. Thanks for watching.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm 13 years old. I'm really excited to have the chance to participate in the Piano Star 2025 Grand Final. Outside of piano, I like to play the violin. I think that the violin is harder to play because you actually have to think about the intonation rather than just pressing a key. I played the violin in my school's orchestra, and I enjoyed the sounds we made and working together with other string instruments. Likewise, I also like to play in chamber groups and meet new people while making music that the piano alone can't. I also like to do gymnastics. It allows me to exercise because sitting at the piano multiple hours a day can be tiring, and because gymnastics is fun. Thank you for watching, and best of luck to everyone.
Hello, my name is Papi Cha and I'm from Bangkok, Thailand. Music has been a part of my life since I was 3 years old. It makes me happy and it keeps me calm. Music also takes me on journeys to many new places, allowing me to see and experience so many new things. My favorite moments are always the sunrise and sunset. They feel magical. This sunrise is one of my favorites. Thailand truly has some of the best places to enjoy these beautiful views. I also enjoy playing sports. My favorite ones are football and basketball. I love spending time alone with the piano because it brings me peace and calm. But when I'm with my teammates, those moments become precious in a completely different way. And all these moments come together to make me who I am. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Hi, my name is Olivia Hua, and I am 15 years old and a sophomore who attends the Spence School in New York City. Firstly, I want to say that I'm very grateful towards the Piano Star competition for giving me this opportunity to share my music with everyone. Outside of playing the piano, I really like to sing, and currently I'm a singer in my school select choir, which I have been in since freshman year. Last year, we had the amazing opportunity to perform at Carnegie Hall with 4 other choirs from around the country. And in the spring of next year, we will be going on a trip to Italy to participate in various competitions and to share our music. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope that everyone has a happy holidays.
Hi, my name is Joseph Hyun, and I'm a sophomore at Chantilly High School. One thing outside of piano that I enjoy doing is baking with my sister. During pandemic, I was staying inside all day, so I was really bored. So I decided to try baking with my sister to kill some time. Usually we bake pastries such as croissants and egg tarts, but sometimes we cook other stuff too, such as chicken soup or sandwiches. Recently, me and my sister tried making steak, but it came out really overcooked, so it was really tough, but it was a really fun experience. I like cooking because I can spend time with my family, which I think is very precious.
Hello, my name is Joseph Gould. I am 15 years old. I play the piano. I live in Columbus, Ohio. And other than the piano, I also play the violin. This is an E string that I bought a while ago, but I haven't used it because I don't really play violin that much anymore. I do like math and coding, not math. I don't really like math. I meant to say I like coding and gaming. So that was my PC that I built because I wanted to play games and code, I guess. I also do wrestling at my school, which is pretty fun. And I'm thankful for this opportunity. Oh yeah, I really like the Marvel movies. I think it's really great. They're really great. Yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Bye.
Hi, my name is Amelia, and I'm from Dallas, Texas. This is my dog, Mabel. Outside of piano, during my free time, I enjoy creating all forms of art, especially drawings. Here are some of my most recent works. I've also been dancing for the past 11 years. I have learned many different styles, including contemporary, modern, and tap. However, I am mainly trained in classical ballet. I love learning new languages. I am fluent in French and currently studying Mandarin. Je suis vraiment reconnaissante et ravie d'être une grande finaliste dans cette compétition. Je souhaite bonne chance aux autres concurrents. I am very thrilled and so grateful to have been chosen as a grand finalist in this competition. Good luck to all of my fellow competitors. 圣诞快乐，新年快乐. Happy holidays and have a happy new year.
Hello, my name is Ezel. I am 13 years old and in 8th grade, currently living in Florida. In addition to the piano, I enjoy hobbies such as cooking because my grandparents are professional chefs and they inspired me since I was little to start cooking. I also enjoy mountain biking. I recently got a new one, and we have a local trails nearby, which is really convenient. So I go there with my friends, and we just hang out there. Then I also enjoy fishing because we live really close to the river. So I go there with my family, and we catch different kinds of species. And then I also enjoy Krav Maga, which is an Israeli defense system. I go there with my cousins and friends, and we learn how to defend ourselves. And it's also very enjoyable to be. Thank you.
Wow, those spotlight videos were just amazing. I cannot wait to see who you guys are going to be when you guys grow up. I mean, you guys are already so talented, so hardworking. I mean, just seeing that inspires me and everyone who's watching. So just keep it up, keep up your dreams. It is so wonderful to see your work at the piano and otherwise too. And I think you guys are just going to be so great. So you guys are already great. All right. So to wrap things up, just a friendly reminder, anyone who wished they could have tuned into today's show, we will be posting the entire grand final event on the Piano League's YouTube channel, where you can watch it as many times as you want. And yes, I mean it. Definitely watch the spotlight videos as many times as you want and cheer for everyone. So follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, WeChat, and let us know just, how it all went. Thank you so, so much.
Yes, thank you, Angie. So that is a wrap for our Group D show, and we are really, really stoked for the grand final show for Group E, and that is also when we are going to be announcing all of the winners from Group A all the way through Group E. So I hope that you can join us then, and just get ready to hear who our winners are going to be. But other than that, we just want to end the show by saying what we always say here at Piano League, which is happy practicing. Bye, everyone.